Are you looking to grow your dental practice and attract top-tier new patients? Discover the potential of digital marketing with a personalized strategy session. Join Lila Stone, the marketing director at Equa, for an exclusive 90-minute consultation. Lila and her team will dedicate 6 hours before your meeting to create a customized marketing plan specifically for your practice. This valuable opportunity is free of charge and comes with no commitments. Visit www.insuranceuntangledorg/MSM to schedule your meeting with Lila today. You'll also receive a free analysis report so you can start transforming your practice through the power of digital marketing.
You are now listening to another episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast, where we explore the various challenges faced by dental practices due to their reliance on insurance. Join us in this podcast as we dive deep into the issues surrounding dental insurance dependence and offer practical solutions and strategies to help you take control of your practice's financial future.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. My name is Ben Tunei, and I'm one of the co-hosts on this podcast. We built this for you to help you untangle yourselves from the mess of insurance that we're all dealing with on a regular basis. Today, I have my good friend and co-host with me. I'm going to be interviewing him, Naren. Naren, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ben. I'm really, looking forward to this conversation. I think we are going to talk about a really, really, really important topic today. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, looking forward to talking about this amazing topic. So what we are going to talk about today is this: getting back to the basics. Why foundational marketing matters for every dental practice, which I think is an important thing to discuss, especially in today's day and age where, holy smokes, there's so many things to consider. You know, when you look at marketing in general in dentistry, there's social media, there's influencers, there's ads, there's SEO, email campaigns, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Naren, so as a dentist, and I'm looking at doing marketing and considering all the different things that you could do, how do you even know where to start with a marketing concept?
That's a great question. So let me start with the foundational things, right? Let's start with the basics. Mm-hmm. So what are the basics in 2025 you need to pay attention to? Number one, you need to have a website that converts, right? Because if a website doesn't convert patients into booked appointments, it's not doing half of its job. Number two, that website needs people finding it, right? People have to get to that website. People have to find you either through the website or your Google My Business profile, or now with AI, they need to know you exist, right? If they don't know you exist, how can they even consider you, right? So are you showing up when people are looking for someone like you? So that's number two. Like, one of the ways you know that is you're ranking for 100 or more keywords. If you're not ranking for 100 or more keywords, then it's not going to work. Number three is Google Ads. Google Ads that fill the gap while your SEO builds traction. So think of Google Ads as, something that is the expensive dessert. I mean, you might pay sometimes $20 for the main dish, but your dessert is $15. You know what I mean? So is it really why you go to the restaurant? No, you're going for the main dish, right? But it's almost as expensive as the main dish because people know, restaurants know when people are in a happy mood, or even drinks, right? Like, they spend like 3 times the money on drinks, even though they know they can get the same bottle of wine at the wine store for like 30% of the money they are paying at the restaurant, right? So it's not really going to help you a lot, but it's okay. So Google Ads is kind of like that. And the reason for that is Google Ads get more expensive over time and people don't trust ads. So pretty much to create the same benefit you would create from SEO, good SEO, you will end up spending 5 times, 10 times as much. Meaning instead of $1,000, you will spend $5,000, or instead of $2,000, you'll spend $10,000. So it still has its purpose. If you are going to make a lot of profit from a certain kind of clients, you might say, you know what, I don't mind spending $1,000 to get that patient because I make $5,000 from that patient. So it's okay. So it has its place, but it's more of a cherry on top, like a dessert, than anything else. So those are the 3 fundamentals: a website, solid SEO, and then Google Ads to fill in the gaps. Now, of course, email marketing used to work. I don't think it works anymore. So social media, again, you have 2 options. One is ads and one is organic. Organic is wonderful, but it's hard because 1% of you will get enough traffic to make organic work for you. And to become that 1%, you have to become a celebrity. But ads are kind of like Google ads. It is really, really expensive. Actually, social media ads are even more expensive than Google ads because, remember the person was watching a video about, something they are into, right? Some people, it might be, celebrities. Other people, it might be animals, right? Whatever they are watching videos. Now, all of a sudden, this ad pops up. So they don't even remember clicking on the ad. So a lot of times they don't show up. So you have a lot of issues with no-shows and stuff. So I just wanted to give you the kind of the sequencing, a great website, SEO. Those are like the foundational things. And then on top of that, Google Ads. So those three would be still part of the foundation for me.
Got it. You'd mentioned something earlier in the conversation, Naren, about converting patients, right, through the website. I often think and wonder, how do you achieve that? Like how do you go about developing and creating a website that turns visitors into patients?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. To turn visitors into patients, you need a website that, does a few things. It has to be fast, right? Today, people don't have patience, right? So I still go to websites, we do what we call a marketing strategy review. When we take over a client's website, it doesn't load fast, especially on a mobile device, right? So it's not optimized correctly to load fast. And if you don't optimize correctly to load fast, if somebody accidentally goes there, which is very rare, maybe your mother goes there or someone who knows you goes there, but even they will get tired of it and they will bounce out of the website. Now, you will never rank because Google knows the same thing that, these people know that your website is not loading fast and it won't send you anybody there. Because why would Google send people to a website that is not optimized and then be the bad guy? Because remember, people are judging Google based on the websites they end up on through Google. Another thing is, is it easy to call? Like when I'm on a phone, do I see the phone number easily? And can I press that button and call you? Is the website easy to read? Like I still see, even in 2025, websites that look okay on a desktop, but look crap doesn't look as great on a mobile. Why? Because they don't adjust the font sizes and redo the screen sizes. They show the same website shrunk. So you have to squint and see. If somebody doesn't have a magnifying glass, they can't even read it. Now, will Google send people to such a website? No. So you will never rank. So are you doing those foundational things to both convince the user that, or make the user happy that they're at the right place, but at the same time, make Google happy because Google won't send you to your website if you don't do those foundational things. So those are some examples of things you should pay attention to. How fast does it load? Is it easy to read on a mobile device? Is the phone number easy to click on? And then of course, you need proof, social proof. So cases, very, very powerful. You need people to kind of get to like you before they come to your website. So having personalized videos for each landing page. So on the implants page, that video should talk about implants. On the sedation page, it should talk about sedation. Those short 45-second videos, authentic videos, not, you don't need to hire anybody and do this complicated thing. Just simple thing. Just talk to them as if you're talking to a patient sitting across. Just say hello, welcome, and just make them feel comfortable, right? Use simple language, not show your credentials by using complicated language they don't understand.
Yeah. We live in a very fortunate digital age. 20 years ago, when you try to do video shorts, it was quite a production, right? The lighting, the big cameras and all that, These days, you just pull out your iPhone and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. So another thing that you mentioned, SEO and Google Ads, is it important to do both of them at the same time, or could you do well just doing one of those?
Yeah, it's a great question. Now, Google makes so much money from ads. Google is worth, I think, close to $3 trillion. Like, we can't even comprehend how much money that is.
Wow.
India, with a population of, 1.5 billion people, has a GDP around $3 trillion, right? So Google is worth as much as the 1.5 billion people in India, produce in an entire 12 months. It's massive, right? How do they make most of that money? It's through Google Ads. So they make SEO really, really hard. So it takes a year for you to rank for 100 keywords and get into the top 5% of individuals who get 95% of the free traffic. We know that because we do that day in and day out for our clients. It takes a year. They rank for 100 or more keywords. They get into that top 5%. Now, because it takes a year, it is a long-term investment, right? So think of it like that. But the beauty is once you are at that top 100 keyword position, then you just have to get better and better. So now, starting year 2, that investment is more than paying for itself. Like we charge $12.50 a month, and that investment more than pays for the cost of ongoing, expenses on a monthly basis when it comes to SEO, right? So the long-term investment. But if you're a startup, you might need ads. Why? Because you need patience in the meantime while this builds. So you might need ads to kind of, cover the gaps. So you might use ads strategically if you're a startup. If you are a very successful practice even with SEO, you might once in a while say, I want to increase number of Invisalign patients from 2 to 3. Of course, don't spend money on ads till your phone is amazing, till you are getting 10 or more Google reviews, till you have great landing pages, because it's kind of like leaks, right? Imagine if you're only converting half of your new patients. Now half of your ad dollars are getting wasted. So don't put money into ads till phone conversion is amazing, the Google reviews are 10 or more, and you have great landing pages with cases. But once you have it, you could spend extra money to take it from 10 new patients to 20 new patients. And you could do wonderful things with it. So I do think, you should look at SEO as the foundational, the long-term investment, and ads as a way to fill in the gaps for startups as well as, for bigger practices who want to increase high-value patients in specific areas on a temporary basis.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm thinking about how Google, 3 trillion. Holy smokes! I didn't realize how big they are.
If you have bought Google stock, I remember when they first went public, I think it was around $30 billion, in the first year or so. It was not moving up or anything, just dancing around. Now it's 3 trillion. So it has gone up 100 times. So if you have put in $1 million or even $100,000, you would have $10 million today, like literally. And you just do nothing. You just buy the stock and just go to sleep for 20 years and wake up in 20 years.
Man, I wish I could see all this 20 years ago.
Yeah. But even in the last 5 years, their stock has continued to grow. So trust me, even the ones who bought it 5 years ago, they're still doing really, really, really well.
I know. And so that tells me that people are on Google constantly, like I am. I go to Google. That's where I find the restaurants that we go to and all that.
I'll give you the stat on that. 12 billion times a day. 12 billion times a day. That's more than the number of people on the planet. And the average person in America goes to Google at least 6 times a day. Like I use Google 10, 15, 20 times a day because it's so powerful. And it takes less than a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds. If you were to hire a researcher and pay them hundreds of dollars, you won't get as good of an answer that you would get in Google in a second. And it's free. You know what I mean? Why would I go anywhere else?
I know.
And in the US, they have a 95% market share. And worldwide, outside of China and Russia, they have an 89% market share. They own the market. It's just Google or else, nothing else.
Right. Like how a lot of restaurants these days, restaurants that rely on foot traffic for new customers, right? They tell you want to build where there's a lot of foot traffic. Google has everybody's foot traffic, And I'm thinking, well, so does social media, So I guess that's the next question is what about social media and this whole mix of SEO and ads? Isn't that at least me too? I'm on social media all the time, but that's where people are too. Do you recommend looking into social media as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do think social media today is the modern remote control. What I mean is, in the old days, I remember 25 years ago, in those days, almost all of us went to an office, right? And then you come back from office, you're tired, the long day. What do you sit in front of the TV and you just flip your channels, right? That's Instagram in 2025. You are flipping the channel. You just keep moving your fingers and it'll keep showing a new video after new video after new video. And every 2 or 3 new videos will show me an ad, right? That's what today's remote control is. And I remember in those days there's even movies and shows about husband having a own remote and own TV, and the wife having a own remote and own TV, and one is in the bedroom, one is in the living room, like, because they all want to just keep flipping different channels, but nobody watches one show for long. They just keep flipping. So that's what Instagram is. And I think Instagram figured out, and again, when I say Instagram, same with TikTok, same with YouTube, they figured out you can engage people a lot by showing them the kind of videos they like. So there's a little bit of variety, so they'll mix it up, but they know there's 5 things you like. So they'll just keep mixing up those 5 types of things again and again. So that's how social media works. And just like Google makes so much money from ads, so does Instagram. Trust me, Mark Zuckerberg is the second richest guy in the world. I know. I mean, we all know his dad, Ed Zuckerberg, who I have interviewed a couple of times, who happens to be a dentist, by the way. And he's very successful because he's very good at, getting people to spend time on Instagram as the modern remote. And he's very good at selling ads to those audience and then making money from those ads. So where do you fit in? So if you are an influencer, it's wonderful, but I do think every single practice has to have a presence today. So we, for example, as part of our service, make sure we are posting, we are managing their practice, we are, making sure it's all set up and managed properly with the right information. And then obviously, getting reviews. Reviews, I still think Google is the place. Instagram or Facebook tried to go after reviews, but I think they don't care anymore because they know their place. Their place is the modern remote, right? Like where we flip channels and they might make money through ads. So I do think, have a presence, make sure you're posting consistently or your marketing team is posting consistently, but don't expect new people to find you unless you become an influencer, right? You have to know, where you're going to get the new patients from. So, but it is very good for existing clients or clients who are using that as one more signal to make sure you are real. Like, for example, they check your Google reviews and some of them might, go to their Instagram feed and type your business name to see, do you have a page? So they're not really trying to decide to come to you, but they just want to say, yeah. They're live, they're modern, they have a practice, they have an Instagram page. So from that perspective, have Instagram, not to expect new patients to find you through Instagram or social media, but rather like a checkbox. Yeah, they have an Instagram page. So that's the way I would think about it. So I wouldn't spend more than like $100 on my Instagram or social media marketing for that reason. Now, 1% of my clients are influencers. They exist out of 500, around 5. So they spend 15, 20 hours a week. They become celebrities, on Instagram. They have 100,000 followers. It took them 4 or 5 years to get there. Maybe some do it in 2 years if they're really, really committed, creating tons and tons of content every day. And once they become an influencer, now they have an audience. Now, the difference between Google and social media is social media audience is global. Google is local, right? You're typing the city name, you're typing near me. So Google is only giving you people in the neighborhood, but social media gives you people in Bangladesh, a different city, different state, different country. So you want to make sure that you have a product or service, if you're an influencer, that has a global appeal. Maybe you came up with a new kind of medical product that anybody can buy off the counter and they can just buy it off your website. Hey, that Instagram is wonderful because it's getting that new product in front of 100,000 people very inexpensively. Yes, you worked on it. But if you're a local dentist, unless you are a celebrity dentist where people are willing to get on a plane and come see you, most people are not going to come see you because of Instagram. So don't expect it to translate into a lot of new clients. But it is a numbers game anyway. So if you're in the top 1% and you're getting 100,000 people to see you, trust me, at least 1,000 people will live in your community. And at least out of the 1,000, you will get 5 patients, 10 patients. So it does work once you become an influencer. But if you don't have any plans of becoming an influencer, don't spend more than $100 a week. Make sure it's getting posted consistently. Make sure it's maintained consistently. $100 a month. That's the way I would think about social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, influencers is not an easy job. I know a lot of influencers, and it's a full-time job for a lot of them, right? If you want to do it the right way, it's a lot of planning and a lot of stuff, But that's the form of marketing that I still am trying to wrap my head around. But going back to what you said about Google, it being a $3 trillion company, that's a direct result of the fact that people are there. Everybody's using it, right? So how do you find these people, these potential patients? I think you hit the nail on the head with some really, really, really great recommendations and thoughts here. So Naren, last question I have for you is, I always think along the lines of those who are listening to this podcast, a doctor that might be thinking, I want to grow my practice this way, or at least I want to grow and have an expert that can kind of guide me, in terms of spending marketing dollars in a way that will have a pretty decent return on investment. What do you recommend for a doctor that's thinking that? Where should they start?
Yeah, I do think they need to start with the foundation. So they need to know where they stand. So I do think, doing a marketing strategy meeting, the link is insuranceuntangled.com/MSM. We'll put it in the show notes. I think is a great place to start. We will look at your website and say, how are you doing when it comes to SEO? Are you ranking for hundreds of keywords or 3 keywords or no keywords, right? And why are you not, if you're ranking for hundreds of keywords, just keep doing what you're doing, at least as far as SEO is concerned. If you are not, what are the root causes? Is it NAP? Is it Lighthouse Score? Is it EAT? Is it CRUX? I can spend hours explaining all of that, but that's one of the things our team will do. They'll tell you the root cause and how to fix it. And finally, they'll also look at your competition. They'll say, okay, how is your competition doing? Because, at the end of the day, you don't have to be better than everybody else. You just have to be better than the people you're competing with. Because if you're better than your people you're competing with, you're going to get more new patients than they do. And you're going to be more successful than they are, right? So how are you doing against your competition? And finally, it's like a roadmap. Like regardless of where you are, how do you get to your final destination? Where you are on top of the world, you're dominating Google, you're dominating conversions, you are getting more new patients than anybody else at the lowest cost possible. Why did I say lowest cost possible? When you do things organically, your cost is 1/5, 1/10 of Google ads and social media ads. And that's only because of the trust issue. So that's where I would start, insuranceuntangled.com/MSM.
Perfect. That is wonderful, Naren. Check that out in the show notes. That link is going to be posted there for those of you that want to take advantage of that, which I highly recommend it. Every single time I hear a doctor doing that marketing strategy meeting, there's a great amount of gratitude and a sense of direction on where doctors want to go with great marketing concepts. So thank you for sharing that, Naren. And I also want to thank our listeners for joining us today on another amazing episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. Share this episode with friends. If you find that this resonated with you, you never know who this might resonate with as well, or who might need this type of education or knowledge. And also reviews help others find this content. So feel free to give us reviews. We love 5 stars. If you'd be so generous to give us some 5-star reviews on any platform that you follow. And don't forget to check out insuranceuntangled.com for all perks, freebies, and including the marketing strategy meeting. Just put /MSM to that website to find an invitation to take advantage of that free offering. Folks, thank you again for joining us today. Until we meet next time, we wish all of you the very best of success. Take care now.